Yes, now I'm requesting the Misha ma'am to
Yeah.
kindly start the session.
So, good afternoon to all of you, and welcome to this next session of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, where we are organizing webinars, where we are organizing talks on different topics. And this webinar is being organized as a part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. I think all of you have heard about it, and every time when I come on board, I always say that this is a Utsav, or this is a celebration where we are commemorating 75 years of our independence and the glorious history of our people, our culture, and our achievements. And this celebration or commemoration is it's dedicated to the people of India who have been instrumental in bringing India to this level, and also to continue to contribute towards India as a global economic power. We have come to number 4, and that is where we are struggling and striving, and we are all together in it. And to commemorate this event, so many activities have been organized all over the country. It's a global movement. Everyone is participating. And we in Skill Council have organized webinar series. We have organized talks. We have invited learned speakers. We have invited learned people to interact with them, to talk to them, and to know from them what they have been doing on the past so many years in different sectors, which is mainly renewables, net zero. Now the list is huge. I can name any sector of the environment where we have invited people, and it's a long list. So today we have something on sustainable development programs. I was reading your CV, and I took the topic. I said, okay, what is the meaning of programs? So programs, what I understand, sustainable development. After COP15, it is the mission, it is the goal of every country, every individual, I should say, to achieve the SDG goals and to see that we don't emit more, so we don't pollute more. But for the term programs, what I understand from this thing is that we may be learning more about the IT, how electronics IT sector is going to, change this scenario or contribute to the sustainable development through interaction with youth. So I think this is a very novel topic where Dr. Bhattacharya, I welcome you, Dr. Bhattacharya, and I thank you for giving us an opportunity to interact with you and learn from you on this very novel topic. Once again, welcome to everyone, and I request Mr. P.V. Singh to kindly introduce Dr. Bhattacharya. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for welcoming the speaker and other participants. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll welcome to the 69th series of webinar. Today we have Professor Dr. Niranjan Bhattacharya, a very experienced, learned, distinguished speaker who will be sharing his expertise and experience on sustainable development programs, information, interchange, and transparency with youth. Professor Niranjan Bhattacharya is B.M.Tech and PhD in Electronics and Communication Engineering. He is also an MBA in Finance. Professor Bhattacharya started teaching and research career as a faculty in Delhi College of Engineering. He is now in academia for over 18 years. Currently working as a professor and director International Quality Assurance Cell in Dr. Akhilesh Das Gupta Institute of Technology and Management, affiliated IP University, New Delhi. He served Indian Merchant Navy, worked for large corporations like Godrej, Tech Pacific Holding Australia, Ingram Micro India Limited, and as a director of IT Solutions Company. He has over 70 international publications and presented papers in USA and Canada. He has written 1 book and reviewed 6 books for Oxford University Press and McGraw-Hill. He is also a motivational speaker of international repute and invited to speak. Now I am requesting Professor Bhattacharya to start the presentation. Over to you, sir.
At the beginning, I would like to thank Dr. Dhamija ma'am for the initiative, and also Mr. Singh for giving such a elaborate introduction on my experiences. And I'll try to do my justice, because the topic which I have chosen on the 69th episode out of 75, which is being conducted to club with the 75 years of independence. So I have developed, and I'm going to speak on the topic on sustainable development goals, and also the programs which are designated, particularly for information interchange with youth, because we have to be transparent with the youth. And that's the segment where I have been dealing for more than 3 decades in academia. And this group, age group between 14 to 25, or is it call it 15 to 25, is the most versatile group of individual, extremely energetic and very intelligent, fast learners. And they can be the one which can broadcast the concept of sustainable development agenda or the goals to humanity, because everyone participation is a must. We cannot depend on only government or UN for monitoring the activities and the goals of sustainable development, and we make progress. So role of youth is extremely important. Today I'll be, most of the participants are not much aware about sustainable development as such. So what is my, I just wanted to little bit of explanation about sustainable development. Any development or Vikas, we are talking about Vivan Vikas, Vivan development, has no meaning unless we take care of the environment, there is economic progress, and there is social justice and social equalities. So if you look at these 3 circles, these are not mutually exclusive. These are all interlinked. And to attain this, there are 5 P's for sustainable development. First, most important is people. Any development has to be people oriented. This is the most important entity, because we are intelligent species, human beings. Our basic needs are not only food, shelter, and clothes. Animals also need food and shelter. They don't need clothes, obviously, but they're supposed to have food, hunt or gather food, sleep nicely in a shelter, and also reproduce so that the species continues. But human being, stressed jeev, we have so many roles to play and take care of all the species. So first, people important. Next is prosperity. Prosperity of one and all, in terms of social development, in terms of economic development, in terms of emotional development of people. There should be prosperity. And obviously there'll be, if you look at the slide here, there are different coins are being shown, but everyone will be obviously have different prosperity depending on how they educate themselves, how they conduct themselves, or some people can migrate from one level to another very easily through hard work and consistent efforts. Third P is planet. This is our Mother Earth. We have only one planet to live, out of which 71% is occupied by salt water. Only 29% we can inhabit. And we have been exploring Mother Earth since prehistoric times. We have been exploring. Then we started exploiting Mother Earth. But we have seen the time has come. We are trying to beat Mother Earth to death. That is not at the cost of development. It should not happen. We should leave this earth a better place for our future generations. Next is partnership. A partnership is something wherein everybody contributes, shares. Let us talk about these 5 fingers. This is the world, say. And if one of the fingers start gangering and we have to chop it off, we are handicapped. So nobody should be left behind. Normally, earlier concept, you have to push somebody down to go up. Now you have to pull somebody up if you have to go up. You have to pull everyone together. The world itself is one community. India believes in Vasundhara Kutumbakam. We are one family. And suppose you pollute the environment in this country, others will also be affected. So it is the responsibility of everyone to partner in this progress of sustainable development. And last P is peace. No development is possible without peace. If you look at the family, if there is harmony, if there is a very nice environment we provide, the children also get a better sanskar and they grow up. If there is infighting among the spouse, the children also gets affected. Similarly, we are talking about world peace. There has to be peace among every nations. Unfortunately, some of the so-called developed countries, they produce too much of arms and ammunition. And if they produce and spend money, they have to sell it somewhere. And the third world country infight and pay the money for those arms and ammunition, and they further produce more arms and ammunition. But just look at when Einstein found E equal to mc square, probably he was not dreaming that his simple invention would be that devastating to wipe out Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Even a matchstick is so useful at home for lighting candles, lighting, for cooking, but if it is tossed aside, it can burn the house. So every development, if you are not peace-oriented, then the entire idea of development goes for a toss. I just wanted to explain, because many people may not be aware of the UN goals for sustainable development. UN had formulated 17 goals. I just want to hurry up, because before I involve the youth in it, they should know what are the goals which was set up in 2015 by United Nations. However, unfortunately, had this been practiced in letter and spirit in 2020, when there was pandemic, there would have been less devastation. Unfortunately, people did not take it very seriously. Even if you look at the death in the so-called developed countries, death rates are much, much higher. Talk about US, talk about England, you talk about Russia or Brazil, so many people die. So these goals were set up, and eventually Government of India has made some customization on these goals. We'll discuss about this, but let us go for the broad goals which are set up. These 17 goals are divided into 169 targets. Targets are something which has to be achieved for a long-term achievement of those goals. And there are 306 markers. They are the benchmark to judge whether we have been able to achieve that particular target or not. First is no poverty. It's not said reduce poverty, no poverty. Poverty should not be there. We should be free. You can call it a development provided we can overcome poverty. And largely, if you talk about, there is reduction in poverty. Number of people below poverty levels are coming down, but still a lot of work to do, because it is something like yes or no. We cannot say, like, if you go for a blood test and they said your ESR level is this, or your sugar level is this to this. But it is not like that test. This test is either 0 or 1. Like you are going for a HIV test. Either you are HIV positive or you are HIV negative. You cannot say I'm 30% HIV positive. So no poverty means no poverty. You cannot have even 1% below poverty line. Similarly, zero hunger. Why should people sleep in empty stomach? Until few years back, half the world was hungry. If you look at the condition of Ethiopia or Syria or some of the countries, even in India, people died of hunger after famines and all. But today, at least in India, no one is dying of hunger. We have eradicated, of course, Green Revolution and all this made us food self-sufficient. So hunger is something which we cannot tolerate. It is a hygiene factor. It has to be. Like in the morning, you want to have hot tea. And if you get hot tea for 29 days in a month and one day you get a cold cup of tea, you feel offended. You cannot say, okay, 29 days I had real nice hot tea. So hunger is something like that. Not even 1% is tolerable. Next is health and well-being. Everybody should have a right to health. It should be healthy. And all depends on all of us. Youth plays a very important role. That role is very, very important. Well-being is more important. Wellness is just opposite of illness. Illness means when you fall ill and go to a doctor. Wellness is something which you do, maybe meditation, maybe exercise, maybe prayers, maybe yoga, so that you don't fall ill. Both are very, very important. It is like you are climbing on a mountain, on a cliff, and there is a railing which is put for you. Had there been no railing, you are likely to fall down. So that railing is well-being or wellness. Third is quality education for all. Though Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan said, education is not a means to an end. Education is an end to itself, but unfortunately it is not still true. He had a dream and obviously it should be. Still in India or most of the part of the world, education is an end, is a means to an end. If you are qualified, you get better packages in jobs. The income is directly proportional to your qualifications. And if you are not qualified, you are unable to earn. So everybody should have an access to quality education. Gender equality, unfortunately, that is an area where India is lagging very behind. There should, if you look at out of 1,000 males, there are 830 or so females in India in terms of numbers. Because in spite of all Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, still in villages, we have reports that there's feticide, female feticide. When the girl child is in a mother's womb, she's being killed out of fear of dowry or whatever be. So all these are something which we have to make gender sensitization, which is, anyway, I'm teaching in a college, and when a girl child after BTech also gets a job somewhere in Hyderabad, parents say हम तो इतना दूर नहीं भेजेंगे, लड़की है हम तो आसपास गुड़गांव या नोएडा साइड में ही ढूंढ रहे हैं जॉब. In spite of getting, there are people. That is the inequality. There is a fear in the mind. Affordable and clean energy. This is another area where India has made subsequent progress, I must admit. Clean energy. Earlier, actually, people were burning cow dung cakes for domestic consumption of fuel, particularly in rural area. Or they were burning the firewood. Now, a lot of things have come up, we'll discuss in subsequent slides. So everybody should be able to afford. Afford is a very appropriate word. It should be clean as well as affordable. It should not be so expensive. Decent work and economic growth. Everybody should have a decent work. Obviously, every work will be different. For a laborer, it will be different, but he should know where I stand 5 years from now. What will be the minimum wages which has been paid, and how increasing the wages would be to take care of inflation. Inflation, you can't help it. You can't say that, okay, prices of all commodities will be static and there will be no increase. It is not possible worldwide. So, decent work for all, depending on your caliber or depending on your qualification or depending on experiences, it should be a decent work with good economic growth, and there should be a conducive environment to work in that organization where you are working. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure. This is the area where we are really very, very weak. Of course, some infrastructure development has taken place in the urban areas, but if you look at the rural area, the infrastructures are very poor in terms of education, in terms of healthcare, and also innovation, that is the R&D activities are not at all taking place. People used to say necessity is the mother of invention. So necessities are there, but unless you do some R&D, unless you innovate, you will not be able to give solution to our necessities. Then reduce inequality. So here, zero inequality nahi hai, reduce. We cannot make everyone equal. It is impossible. Inequality will remain. Today, if I take all the wealth of the country from every individual, starting from a laborer or a peon, or even from Mukesh Ambani, and I keep it on my table, the entire wealth of India divided by 135 crore population, and I give it back equally to each one of them. Still, after some time, we will find that the wealth will flow towards somewhere. And those people who have so many wealth, they have not been able to manage, again, they will be going back. So, but that's the reason I said inequality cannot be stopped, because poor works for money, whether it's a daily work or people like us work for 30 days and get a salary, and rich money works for them. They invest, they take risks, and the money multiplies. That's the basic, but we should reduce the inequality. That's the reason our tax regime and all are structured in such a way that poor people are not taxed, I mean the income tax. Rich, super rich are taxed higher slabs, and those welfare activities is possible from the taxes collected from. And of course, there has been reduction in inequality to a large extent, and that goal is not yet met. Sustainable cities and communities. Cities has to be sustainable. People will move from villages to cities because of economic reasons. There will be slums, obviously. We need people to work as domestic maids, we need carpenters, we need plumbers, we need somebody to fix our electric connections. And there'll be slums, and there'll be, obviously, but that city should be, there should be wholesome development. That means there also the basic amenities should be available. They should be able to access whatever the facilities which they can afford. So a city's sustainability is most important. No other infrastructure growth will take place if we don't give proper support to the slum areas, to the other places where those people will be a building block in our infrastructure and industry growth. Responsible consumption and production. On responsible consumption and production, I would like to quote something which our Honorable Prime Minister said in Glasgow in year 2021 in November. In that UN meet, he said, for responsible consumption and production, there should be life, L-I-F-E. By life, he meant lifestyle for environment, life. That means mindful and deliberate utilization instead of destructive consumption. This is very, very important quote which our own Prime Minister had quoted to UN and it has been adopted. So it should be very, very responsible. Climate action. Climate action is something, without action, people will be throwing the plastics, they'll be dirtying the streets, they'll be, throwing the acid in our laboratory, in the drains, it will go into the river and whatnot. So there has to be action. So India government has taken few actions. For example, there was an amendment, Plastic Waste Management Amendment Rule. By 2022, all single-use plastics were banned. These are the climate action. You know about NGT, National Green Tribunal, they are taking so much of effort for protecting the climate. Forestation. We are felling trees like recklessly. As a result, what was happening? There were deserts. Even, when forests are being felled, if tiger population or leopard population comes down, there'll be too many deer and nilgai and whatnot, black bugs. So as a result, they'll be eating away the greeneries and the grasses. There'll be obviously ecological imbalance. All this, unfortunately, if you look at India has 10th largest forest land in the world, highest being Russia, followed by USA, Canada, and Brazil. India comes number 10. And being number 10, still we contribute only 2% of the forest of the world. But best part is that in last 5 years, the forest area of India has gone up by 3%, which is phenomenal. So many legislations were brought in for stop felling trees and whatnot. Life below water. See, life below water is not below pond or rivers. It is below ocean. This is applicable only in the coastal regions. Okay. All oceans, see, the worst thing is what is happening, Oceans are becoming acidic. There were 700 regions in the world earlier, 5 years back, which has gone up to 800 regions now in seas and ocean, where there is no flora and fauna, all died. No animal, no plant. And that region is growing because of acidity. So, who will be the worst sufferers? Many people are dependent their livelihood on sea and ocean. These people are the worst sufferers. They are going to far off places, deep into the sea for fishing. Earlier they used to get into shallow waters and get it. Now they're risking their lives. And because of the fact that we are trying to beat the Mother Earth to death, she also started retaliating. She gives us occasionally tsunami, flood, and whatnot, sometimes earthquakes. Then, next is inland. Land means forests, inhabitants, there is a goal for protection of the land. River comes under this, ponds and lakes has to be protected. We can't start throwing our garbages into the drains and all the plastic wastes in particular. We have to protect them. Next is role of institution here. This is a very, there has to be a very, very strong judicial and other rules and regulations. Otherwise, people are very reluctant to follow the rules set by Sustainable Development Goals. And last, the 17th one is partnership for the goal. This partnership sums up all the 16. In fact, India has gone one step ahead on the 17th goal. This has been made measurable now. All the 16 goals are measurable through goal number 17, through partnership from grassroots level, from the panchayat level up to the parliament. This is the institutional structure at various levels in India. Parliament is the owner of this project called implementation of SDG. NITI Aayog formulates the rules. There is a controller and audit general who sees that everything is going free and fair. There is no hanky-panky. Then under that, there is a Ministry of Statistics which provide the entire data which should be made available. If you see that arrows, these are all both ways. Information flow is both ways, not a hierarchy wherein information is flowing from top to bottom. There are line ministries, high-level committee chaired by Chief Secretary, and he takes the report of all the state legislatures. There are training and resource institution and experts. Here the role of academia, people like me comes. Training, resource, and institution. We are the interface wherein we can be in touch with the youth. That is the main thing which I wanted to elaborate. Of course, there are directors of statistics, planning, and these are the nodal centers, focal point. These are the state level, and this goes up to the grassroots level in India, in the district levels, coming to the state level, and overall ownership is in the parliament. Now, NITI Aayog has smartly customized this into few subgroups. For example, in the social, it has SDS 1 to 6 has been included, economy goals 7, 8, 9, 10, like that, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 are related to this. All this has been segregated by, but if you look at what I have already discussed about 16 goals, but 17 goal is actually a datum to measure. Now they have given scores, anything from 0 to 1. If you have achieved 100 only, you are called achieve or an achiever. If you are below even 99, 65 to 99, you are a front runner, you are doing well. So before that, if you are scoring from say 50 to 64, you will be called as a performer, but 0 to 49, still an aspirant. We don't need aspirants, we want things to grow from step to step. So this is what I just wanted, because the report of NITI Aayog SDG index is available for 2021 up to 2021. I have done an analysis. To find out what is the progress. If you look at in baseline report in 2018, there were 13 goals only. They have set 39 targets which were achieved, and there were 62 indicators out of 306. And these goals were for union territories. National Indicator Framework was just formed in 2019-20. If you look at, they have achieved 16 plus goals. 16 plus means 17 goal is also being analyzed. That is the analytical part. 54 targets, then 100 indicators. Look at the progress. Goal-wise ranking of states and union territories. And in 2020-21, there was still improvement in the target level, gone up to 70 achievements. Then indicator out of 306, 115 were achieved. And if you look at state-wise, this is the data. Look at SDG 7. Most of the states have achieved. Union territory will be coming in the next slide. What is SDG 7? I have told you SDG 7 relate to clean energy. And this is possible only because we have given up subsidies on gas, and gas connections were given to the rural people who were burning fossil fuel, or they were burning the cow dungs, which are actually meant for using as a manure. Those were burned. And if you look at most of the states, 100 has come. But if you look at SDG 9, this is according to, if you look at this, according to reduction in achievement targets. SDG 9 is least achieved. SDG 9 is least achieved because we are not doing any. This is for infrastructure, industry, and innovations. Except for the few metros, infrastructure level has been pathetic in India. There is room for improvement. Also, innovations. Ideally, developed countries spend almost 26% of their GDP on research and development. India is spending very less. Private participation in R&D is too poor. Company makes money, but they don't spend money on the R&D. So again, if you look at next lowest is SDG 5, which is on female inequality in India. These are the areas we have to really concentrate. Still, I feel sad when, females are being treated. I have two daughters myself. I'm very attached to them. Still, there is inequality at workplace, at home, in society. You don't agree. Many people will say, no, there is no inequality. By giving 2 seats in the metro or in bus, you reserve some seats for female, doesn't mean you are giving them equal opportunity. Even in so-called elite people, I have people, husband and wife, both are doing same job. Both of them comes home almost at the same time. The wife rushed to the kitchen to make tea for husband, and husband is actually watching TV. This is an inequality. I don't know to talk about it. It might hurt someone, but this is the reality. If you look at union territories, they are much better off. They are much better off as far as achievements are concerned. This is the real statistics data I have collected. And if you look at this, SDG goal achieved, this overall percentage, all India, these are the goals which is achieved. Why SDG 14, nothing has been mentioned? Can you guess? SDG 14 is meant for, as I said, only coastal areas. So if you put it there, for example, state like Delhi or Haryana, there is no coastal belts. So that cannot be judged. So only I am keeping that slide separately. See, these coastal areas like Orissa, Andhra Pradesh are the front runners, Karnataka and Gujarat, all those states where Orissa, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Kerala, Goa, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, these are the coastal states. And if you look at Orissa, has done phenomenally well as far as protection of the coast is concerned, protection of the ocean is concerned, whereas Tamil Nadu has fared very poorly. Now comes to the most important and interesting part, is the role of responsible youth in India. So 15 to 25 years is defined as youth as per you. That age group I am very fond of, I have told you, because they are the one whom I have been always interacting, and believe me, I learned so much from them, because they're the one always full of energy, full of new ideas, very intelligent, very fast learners. And best part is that this youth, but because all these goals are targeted for 2030, we have 7 more years. By the time they pass this phase, youth, they will be the one who will be in service. They will be the one who will be some politicians for making rules, and there will be the rule makers. There will be few entrepreneurs who will be starting something on their own. There will be some sportsmen who will be bringing laurels for the country. There will be some managers who will be managing various activities, and there will be academician like me who will be teaching. So all this youth will be the torchbearer And by the time in 2030, they'll be full-grown adults. They can percolate it down. Right now, what they have to do, they have to move upwards because they have the one who will take the initiative to convince their parents, to persuade them to follow the SDGs. They are the one who can influence the teachers. They can influence the local leaders. They can influence the politicians because they are a very powerful lot, a very huge population. We'll discuss about this population of youth, but they are right now, they can percolate it upwards, and when they become adult by 2030, they can percolate it down. Because I have seen now the role of responsibility of people like us is to align our youth towards sustainable development goals. There are various stipends, there are various financial and leadership skills imparted to them. They are the one who can lead from front. And see, our youth will not do what I tell them to do. They will do what we do. अगर हम खुद नहीं करेंगे, we cannot say, suppose you tell your child, don't tell lie, and you yourself tell lie and he has heard you telling lie to someone. Do you think he's going to follow you? No. So, youths are so important. We'll few slides because time is also running out. See, there are 9 groups identified by UN, out of which this group called youth has maximum role to play in the coming few years. Though it was designated for 15 years, a lot of time got wasted, but of course there are, Asia has been doing very well. Asia as a whole is doing very well as far as attainments of the sustainable development goals are concerned. There are reasons. If you look at the population, 16% of the global population is the young people right now. Out of 700 million people, Asia is the home of almost 17 to 18%. 60% of that population is obviously worldwide population we are talking about. But if you look at the population of youth in Asia is much more. The reason behind still there is death due to pandemic, health issues, so longevity of our old people, life longevity, though it is increasing, but compared to developed country, it is less. But very few years from now, what will happen? Population of youth will percentage-wise come down because our senior citizens are living longer now because of better healthcare, because of infrastructures. So population percentage will come down, but it will go up to 1.3 billion people will be youth. And if you look at this graph, the sustainable development has directly proportional to the population of youth. So how important youth in this propagation? Now, since I keep interacting with youth, first you have to understand what are the problems. When I interact with youth, first they say, I can't find work or get a fair wage. First of all, I am unemployed, I'm not getting a job. Even if I am getting a job, it is not as per my qualification or my experiences. I have been underpaid, overworked. That is a general statement mixed by youth. While driving, I'm exposed to more dangers. Obviously, if you look at statistically also, number of youth dying in the street is much more out of bike accidents or whatever be. So they feel very unsafe. I am currently experiencing severe financial hardship. Obviously, even for recharging their mobile, they are dependent on someone and they have other expenses. They say, I cannot afford good education. I am trying for loan to pursue higher studies. If I get it, fine. If I don't have financial, even I don't get study loan properly and I don't have, my parents are not in a position to afford higher education, good education. For my mental illness, I cannot get the help I need. Mental illness, pagal nahi. Mental illness means stress-related disorders, depression. Youth are subjected to various kinds of stresses. And I am surprised to find out that stress related to crush and breakups also add up to so much of problem in them. And there's no one to mentor them, though we are trying to find out a mentoring mechanism so that, youth are counseled and guided. This is for, I'm expecting a baby, but did not get any prenatal care. This is the youth of particularly slum and rural areas through my NGO when I visited. They are not getting child marriage. At very young age, they got married. And now what happened, their body is unable to bear the child and they are not getting any prenatal care. Forget about rural area. I'm just talking about few days back, you must have seen in the news, one 10th class student, 15 years old girl, delivered a baby in school toilet. And she was repeatedly raped by a 1 years old man. Now, that is the lack of communication. Had this been communicated on day one, she would not have suffered. So there is a communication gap of youth with parents, youth with teachers, and that is increasing after COVID. They become more and more confined to themselves. That barrier or that ice has to be broken through mentoring. No one speaks for me in the political system. Forget about political system. That 14 years old boy, we call it neither ornamental nor useful. That is the society tells. Below 14 years, child is pampered, and kissed. In 14, when you attain 14, 15 years, then what happens? You feel he's good enough, cannot be pampered. At the same time, he is not that big enough so that he will be made responsible. We'll discuss. That is the biggest problem this group is facing. They feel that we are neither ornamental nor useful till the time they attain 25 and take up some job, and then their parents, even the people, society, treat them with respect. And nobody listened to them as per in the political system. Again, they feel, for me, life in city means exploitation, trafficking, and object poverty. This is a statement I have recorded from various youth I have interacted so far from the database. So, as this has been clubbed for prosperity of the youth, for planet, people, and these are some of the, for example, this has been taken for goal 4, this is from goal 8. I will not like to describe because time is running out. Why should youth participate in SDGs? Why? If you know why, how would be very easy. I'll tell you how to participate. Why? Why is very? I have already told you. They can be a broadcaster of all SDGs from grassroots level up to the parliament level, because they are big strength in numbers, and they don't have any fear. If you tell, sometimes I challenge my students, I say, "Arey, ye tera bas ki hai nahi." The moment I say that, they challenge and they say, "Sir, I'll prove that I can do it." And he has done much better than what I was expecting. Sometimes negative works, I said, tera bas ki nahi, tere se nahi hoga. So they have the challenge-taking capabilities. And if you tell them that, oh, SDG is something, and obviously you have to give them some carrot. Nobody, even you don't get a glass of water free, you have to give some carrots. How to do it is different, but they are the one who can percolate from grassroots level. They can influence their parents, their teachers. They can go to the chemistry lab and tell the chemistry teacher, "Madam, why are you throwing the acid in the basin? From this acid, after titration, it is going into the drain, and from that it's going to the nala. Some cow is, or some animal, and birds are drinking that water, or from nala it goes going to the river, and from river it's going to the sea." That's the reason probably 700 to 800 regions have already become acidic. So they can point out, they can say why the beaker is broken, why you are throwing in the same, dustbin where we have thrown the food. This food can be recycled, it can make it manure, because there are some people who will be segregating, their hands will get cut if you throw this broken test tube into the same dustbin. Why this can't be recycled? They can say that old mobiles, old monitors, and old TVs, which has to be recycled instead of dumping into a dump here, because there is something called e-waste. They are the one who can be the torch bearers if we educate them. People like you and us can do it. And people like you and us are of two types. Some people are willing but not capable. Some people are capable but not willing to do this. But people like me and you, we are not only capable, we are willing, and that will make a lot of difference. International Youth Day is celebrated on 12 August, but in India, there is National Youth Day on 12 January, the day in honor of the birthday of Swami Vivekananda ji. So all this in International Youth Days, we can communicate, we can educate our youth how the sustainable development goals can be achieved with their help, with their support. And first of all, we have to train them. We have to make them feel important. We should not let them feel that they are not ornamental or useful. That is what they give a feedback to me from time to time. See, these are the projects which I was talking about. Madam was asking about the projects. See, these are RAISE, safety pin, urban DRR. If you look at the beneficiary, these are run by the student youth. Means, वो हम जैसे लोगों से सीखता है कि कैसे, उनको बताते ऐसे. In between, कैसे and वैसे, they make some money also. This is a very well designed. If you look at organization like Asian Development Bank has played a huge role in all this. If you look at this, in Philippines and Jakarta, Indonesia, Asia is doing fantastically well, and India is doing well, but we have not involved much youth in it. It has been one-sided from the government side. They are putting a lot of efforts. There are people who are extremely involved in this Niti Aayog talk about, but unfortunately, we have not been able to use youth, which other countries like Indonesia and all these other projects. I can share with you if somebody is interested how to get into this, and these projects are addressed by the youth only. They are creating. In fact, I have seen even in my college, when I arrange for an alumni talk, my students relate to the alumni who passed out about a year or two so much. And if we talk the same thing, they feel that it's a grandpa's talk. Parents or teachers keep talking, but they relate to the alumni much better than us. So this youth participation, I call it a project. This project has to be initiated in India, and there will be volunteers to start with, then we'll make them equipped, they will train more and more people, and more people, and there will be a chain reactions of youth, and when they come into the front, nothing can stop us from achieving the objectives. And last, what I want to talk about is Sustainable Development Solution Network has been formed now. This is also part of the project. It is SDSN. It talks about the priorities of the youth, but most important, we have to educate the youth, we have to connect them with the world, and also support them. Then only the youth. In the nutshell, there is educate, connect, and support. If you do that, there are so many programs, and I myself have devised few things, how to motivate the youth so that they become part and parcel of our SDGs, attaining those goals, sustainable development goals, which are modified by India. Not modified is the wrong word, I should put customized by India from taking the 17 goals from UN. I think this should be the 2030 agenda for sustainable development. Universality, if there's no universality, it cannot be localized. It has to be universality, leaving no one behind. I cannot leave anyone behind. I have to pull everyone up. That is what wholesome development can take place, and in a plural society. Interconnectedness and indivisibility. There should be no divisibility. We should be united. We should be, I don't have to tell, India is a country where we are connected by bhavana. We are very emotional. I have been to attend in Haridwar, there was Kumbh a couple of years back. I have been there. And I found how people are connected. People have come from Manipur, they are praying their own way. People have come from Tamil Nadu, they are praying their own way. Naga sadhus are praying their own way. So much diverse people from Delhi, Haryana, everybody has their own way, but we are one. We are not being able to understand, but we are communicating. I don't understand their language, but we are communicating. Naga sadhus are communicating. Everybody is communicating with one another because we are connected by bhavana. That advantage India has. If you look at during pandemics, when laborers started migrating, walking on foot hundreds of kilometers, it is only in India that people came. Of course, the government organizations were providing support. I'm talking about people. They have taken food, they have taken water, they have taken sleepers because sleepers were broken, they were bleeding. That feeling that we are one is not there in many countries. Fortunately or unfortunately, I have been to 17, 18 countries. In one of my visits to UK, I met one guy in our conference. He's Scottish. I asked him, are you English? He said, no, 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 no. He was very offended when I asked him, are you English? We are Scottish, we are different. Similarly, purposely, I tried to find out an Irish guy in London and I asked him, are you English? He said, no, 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 no. We are part of Ireland. Actually, we should have been in the Ireland, but we are unfortunately with United Kingdom. They speak the same language, they have different accent, but they feel that we are different. But that feeling is not there in India. And in fact, that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is the concept which has been taught since Indus Valley civilization from the time of Harappa, Mohenjo-daro. Inclusiveness is very important. We have to include everyone. Otherwise, it cannot be done individually. And last is multi-stakeholder partnership. We have to involve more and more stakeholders into the processes. For example, why in Philippines and Indonesia, they are doing much better because bank like Asian Development Bank is partnering with these programs and educating the youth and sponsoring. Same thing should, if happen in India, this is what our agenda should be in 2030. I think I have completed what I want to speak. Thank you so much, but I'm open to any question if anybody has any query.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bhattacharya. I think it was a very illuminating talk, and the way you told us about the performance SGI index that Niti Aayog has prepared, I was not aware about it. They have a performance index, and clean energy, of course, is rated the top, but there are so many other, goals which should have had a better rating with the states. I feel you will agree with me.
Yes, yes.
There's so much talk of so much development, but unfortunately,
infrastructure, innovation, and industry is the worst. If you look at it coming in the last column.
Yes, and we expect so much from them.
Yeah, and I am very much particularly concerned about women equality. Yeah. Without that, if half of our partner in this progress is not involved, nothing will happen. With half, we cannot work.
Yes,
this is the area I feel India should work.
But there's a lot to do. You see, in villages, our schools also, they are till 8th or 12th. We don't have colleges, so girls are deprived, the opportunity to educate themselves. And if they have to go to, away to the city, and parents are very reluctant, maybe because of safety issues and other issues.
That is safety is very important, ma'am.
Yeah, but
that should not be an excuse for not sending. That should be a reason. Yeah. That should not be an excuse for not sending. That should be a reason for sending. Yeah. I am sending my child. If my daughter or anybody can go abroad and work, or go to Bangalore and work, if some daughters can join armed forces and commission as an officer, I think it is our mindset we have to change.
Yes. So the progression is there, like what you said about armed forces. They slowly and slowly. First, they were short service commission, then they were, for 15 years, and now they are in every sector. The part about youth, which is more positive in your talk, is about youth, role of youth.
True.
I think this year in Sharman Sheikh, there was a special session on youth, because we have so many youngsters voicing their concern. You have that girl from Sweden, then from Pakistan. They've been voicing their concern about the climate and what environment we are going to leave for our children.
Correct.
What environment they're going to get. So that role of youth is very important, but the connect is there. I feel you being in the universities or in the academic circle, you can connect more and you can induce these feelings of, that I have seen that children are going for some social work and projects and all that. So that gives them a lot of awareness about what they should do. But that more connectivity is required, more groups are required.
Absolutely true, ma'am. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
We are doing at the individual level, but collectively with, I think there is a partnership with government and industry, academia. If you can work together, you can do miracles. And all those points which you have shown in the slides, we can achieve 100 by each and every stage.
I think we have Dr. Srinivas today who has joined us. If he's there, would you like to comment? He's former CEO of REC Foundation. Dr. Srinivas, are you there? I saw him in the list. No, but so there are comments that the talk was very informative and they are very well presented. So I would like to thank you. And let me see, there is a question. No, everything is positive except the SDGs performance index.
Ma'am, one question from Meena sir.
Okay.
He's written on the chat box, dear Dr. Bhattacharya.
No,
sir.
he's saying it's a very informative talk.
Yeah.
There is a lot of information, but I think he will
But
also
actually,
with me.
madam, for a teacher like me,
Yeah.
to wind up in 1 hour is very difficult because we are in the habit of talking for hours.
Yeah.
So I had to make it concise.
No, it is very, very.
When I take a workshop, it's a full day workshop.
Yeah, of course. And the way you showed and explained each and every SDG, it's very easy to just give a group that this is the 17 SDGs. You connected with the illustrations and examples. So that was very beautiful. That itself gave a good context to the entire presentation.
I myself, as I have said, I am willing and capable, and I have gone through the process myself. I don't want others to do something which I have not done myself. I have contributed whatever way I can to each of the SDGs.
Yeah, Mr. Meena is from the ministry, so he's dealing with the state governments also. Mr. Meena, if you are there, would you like to comment? Mr. Meena, is he there?
Namaste, ma'am.
Namaste. I want your comments, especially to the performance of the states.
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, we are doing a lot of activities, but as I feel that the quantification, achieving the SDG are lagging behind. There are no proper quantification methods and practices. Otherwise, India also achieving a lot of SDG in a good quality index, or you can say the success rate. But I think we should improve the quantification or the measurement of the satisfaction or achievement of the SDGs targets. As a lot of activities are going on in all the SDGs. So awareness and quantification, two major things I think we should promote through academic tools and all the platforms.
Thank you.
His voice gone.
Thank you.
We can't hear you. Just repeat what you said, two things.
One is quantification of the activities which are conducted in various sustainable development goals. And second is the awareness among the stakeholders. For example, Gram Panchayat are doing lot of activities. They know the importance of the work, but there is a need to link that work with the sustainable development goal. Means they know all the activities, but they don't know which these activities are linked also with the international SDGs.
That can be, I think that can be one of the issues, because we have so many programs. You talk of alleviation of poverty, you talk of alleviation of hunger, you talk of what he's saying is correct. I was also there in the ministry. We were doing all these programs, linking, we had our own goals. The biogas has this program, the clean cook stoves have this program, but linking to the SDGs, maybe that is an issue which the ministry should take it up with though every time when we give a program, this complies or this meets this, but then giving that data back and linking it back with the SDGs, that is very important.
Because you rightly said, and also I feel that for example, Gram Panchayat doing lot of activities, and so in simple language we should communicate the SDG meanings, and we should link that activities with their activities. People not understand, ma'am.
So it is not. We should have a more bottom-down approach, not a
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Or up approach, no?
So that they can realize that this is very international level work which they are doing.
Yeah.
If you allow me, I can just add one comment on what Mr. Meena has said. Well, Mr. Meena, I appreciate, and you have been very vocal and you have really pointed out the issues. I feel one thing, that all those quality aspects in the Gram Panchayat level has to be quantified. You have to tell in a scale. Otherwise, you will not be able to achieve those targets. You have to tell. For example, you tell me that Dr. Niranjan is a dark person. Now, compared to whom? Compared to, say, Ricky Ponting, I am very dark. Compared to Brian Lara, I may not be that dark. So you have to tell me in a grayscale, where do I stand, my color? So similarly, every good aspect, Panchayat is doing good work, it should be quantified, all the qualitative aspect, that if you do this, then this is the point. This is the benchmark.
Yeah. I feel one thing, Mr. Meena, you should get this quantification index from Niti Aayog, whatever feed, the chart or all, whatever table they have prepared, and that should be upgraded. Because I feel, I also agree with you, a lot of work has been done. Maybe it is not going through the proper channel to the Niti Aayog. They have their own Excel sheet, they have their own index. So that index has to be,
yes.
The channelization is not proper, So, and maybe the ratings will improve once the proper information reaches them. This is what my feeling is. Yeah. So anything else? Yeah, we don't have anything else. So I want to thank you.
Ma'am, 1 minute. One on the chat box, Santosh Kumar, Mr. Santosh Kumar, he written, sir, how to achieve India 16 SDG?
Okay. I didn't see that. Sorry, I missed it. Yes, please. So 16 SDG is, I think so, institutions, no? Yes.
See, as I said, I have already explained how to achieve. Niti Aayog has already, broad frame line has been made for each of the 16 SCG, and the 17 is for participation and measurement. So the youth, what I was targeting at, participations, we can conduct webinars and for educating the youth on this line, so that their participations can be achieved in terms of little remuneration for propagating and for getting the work done at the grassroots level. They can go up to anybody, in the local leaders they can talk to. They said, why you have got this much fund for your constituency, this has not been done. This development is not a development because it is inhaling the process of people and environment and society. So that's how it has to be, as ma'am said correctly, it has to be bottom-up approach. Top-down approach does not work. It has to come from the grassroots level upward, up to the parliament.
Yeah, I think so. So I think Skill Council should start a series on only SDGs. That will be very That will be very effective, only all the SDGs. Yeah.
Many people doesn't know about this.
Yeah, I agree with you.
My
agree.
colleagues also not aware when I talk about this.
Mm.
2015 में
And we are very lucky, post-COVID, we have got this platform. Because of COVID only, we started going the virtual mode, and this is becoming a very popular platform. Half of the work is done, and the connectivity is better.
yes.
Participation is more. So I think I should thank you for taking this time out and giving us this opportunity to interact. And I want to request Mr. PB Singh for a formal vote of thanks. Thank you, Anand.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the comments. Thank you very much, sir, for your excellent presentation. Sir, the presentation is very, very knowledgeable and informative. Several participants written also on the chat box and given you thank you. And so, sir, you explain very well. I think participants are enjoying. Finally, thank you, sir. And I would like to thank all the participants for his valuable time to join the webinar. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Dr. Bhattacharya, sir.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Have a nice day. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.